What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to another episode of the Low Life Motherfucking Chopper Podcast.
Yeah, I used to listen to the Low Life Chopper podcast. Then my dad got a job. Burn!
Oh, fuck.
We're back. We're feeling real good. Spring has sprung in the Northeast. We got to stretch our legs. Got to get out on them bikes. I got a little extra skip in my step everywhere I go.
Feeling good?
Psst. You don't realize how much you need it until you get it.
Oh, my God. It's a game changer.
Yeah. You're like, dude, this is way better than just imagining riding around on a motorcycle.
Yeah. I always say on here that I never know which one I like better, the building part of it or the riding part of it. And I feel like I always say that in wintertime.
Yes, 100%.
Because right now, I'm like, that's all I want to do is ride.
Yeah. Yeah, like when it finally works and you get to ride it and you get comfortable enough where like things aren't rattling off and things aren't like snap, crackling, and popping, you're like, oh, this is actually really enjoyable.
Yeah. And let's clear the room real quick for you guys watching on YouTube. This is not my road glide. Okay? This is my old man's road glide. I'm fixing a couple things on it for him. So fucking relax in the comments.
Looking like a fucking hog meetup over there, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
What does he got over there? A road glide?
Yeah, 2011 road glide. He got a big cam put in it. It's nice. He's got the full fucking exhaust from what's that fucking super popular exhaust that everybody does?
Vance and Hines?
No. I think it starts with B.
Bassani? That's a drink.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just making shit up now.
Screaming Eagle.
No.
I'm not gonna guess
Fuck. It literally says it on the back. I can't even see it. God damn it. Anyways, yeah, it's done up. It's a nice bike. She rips.
No shit.
Yeah.
You've ridden it before too, huh?
Yeah. I took it on my anniversary weekend one time.
Right.
It was a lot of fun. We did like 400 miles in a weekend. We fucking laid the miles down on that bitch. It was fun.
Yep. Yeah. I've never ridden a bike with like full fairing, windshield, all that jazz. I imagine it's pretty comfortable though.
It's very comfortable.
Like you're just like, oh, it's raining, doesn't matter. It's not touching me.
With the road glides, not so much because the fairing is really short on the road glide. Yeah. I mean, you can get bigger windshields for them, but my dad doesn't have that. You sit well above the fucking windshield.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't really do much. It probably breaks some with like the wind pounding on your chest, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But nice bike for the right person.
Yes. So we got, speaking of spring being sprung, there's all sorts of fun things to do coming up. In fact, tomorrow, isn't there a show, Loctite?
It sure is. It is the La Espada Chopper Show. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. I need to make sure. You would think I would just memorize the flyer by now because I've said it 1,000 fucking times, but I haven't. La Espada Chopper Show. This is the 3rd annual. All right, this ain't no rookie show. They've been here before. They know how to put on a banger of a fucking season opener. It's Saturday, May 4th, 2024, 576 Primrose Street, Haverhill, Massachusetts. Custom bikes, bands, beer, food, vendors, raffles, indoor show, and ride-in show start at noon. Bands, raffles, and awards start at 4 p.m. And I've also heard there's an after party at the La Espada Clubhouse. If you want any information on any of this, hit up F6T9W on Instagram.
We'll be there.
We'll be there. Next, we got the Low Life Lowdown. June 8th, 2024. It's a chopper and motorcycle show. 232 Caliph Highway, Epping, New Hampshire, the center of the fucking universe. Food, beer, music, raffles, motorcycle show, and biker games. Spoken Throttle is a cover band. They play all your classic dad rock shit, your fucking outlaw country, all that kind of shit. They'll be playing from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. After the band goes off, we'll do all the raffles and all that bullshit. All raffle proceeds are being donated to Operation Purpose. Listen, raffles have been pouring in today. Your boy has been on the phone all fucking day. And let me tell you, the people that are donating shit, studs. I'll get a list together for the next show of what we have so far. But you will not be disappointed with the raffle items this year. Make sure you come visit the raffle table at the show. Like I said, all proceeds are going to Operation Purpose. So every dollar you spend on tickets, it's going to a good fucking cause. You can feel good about spending your money for once in your life.
Yeah. And in fact, go visit lowlifechopperpodcast.com. Check out the Low Life Lowdown page, because I got our sponsors up there today.
Shoo!
Yeah.
And
so
if you are looking to sponsor the podcast, you can hit us up, lowlifechopperpodcast.com. If you want to sponsor the show, if you want to vend, if you want to add in a raffle item, you can go to lowlifechopperpodcast.com. Click on any of our emails, or you can hit up Dan at No Luck Paintworks on Instagram. You can hit me up on Instagram, Rhino up on Instagram. You are not going to want to miss the show. You do want to vend. If you sell anything, you're going to want a vendor spot. There is going to be tons of fucking people here. It's going to be an amazing day, amazing weather, great music, great food, and great people. So put in the fucking time. I don't want no excuses, no weddings, no fucking birthdays, no funerals. June 8th belongs to the Lowlifes, so show the fuck up.
International Low Life Day. First day of bike week. Don't be a bitch. We got another show coming in hot this summer. And when I say hot, I mean it's going to be hot in that parking lot. We got those crazy boys at the Easy Co. You know them from their YouTube. They crazy. They funny. Worcester Bike Week. That's going to be on
the show.
July 13th, 11 to 6 at Ralph's Diner. If you ain't never been to Ralph's Diner, it's a bucket list item. This place is very unique, possibly haunted. But Worcester Bike Week, Worcester,
definitely haunted.
Like the sauce. It is the only bike week that takes an entire bike week and condenses it down in its purest form. 7 hours of pure insanity. So, July 13th, Ralph's Diner, be there. Next up, I'm pulling this shit. I said I was going to pull it today. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to pull it.
Not ready.
I'm not ready to pull it. I got to pull it. We're going to pull it. We're going to pull this today. Or maybe we pull it on Friday on a live. We'll pull it on a live.
Yeah.
Because I'm not ready. I'm not ready, Freddie.
Yeah. Do it on live.
But burnt up wood burning. We have just make sure I don't forget. We're gonna forget. Someone remind me. Someone remind me on Friday. Hey, you didn't pull that thing for burnt up wood burning. Matt and his son Austin made this one of a kind, priceless LCP plaque with custom motorcycle chain hooks. It's a work of art. It's one of a kind. I guess it's too late. I guess if you get in like today's Tuesday or whatever, so we did actually have some people sign up since last week. So good on you. You're going to get in on this one. If I forget to do it, then maybe you have one more week, but we'll see. See how good our combined memory is together, right? I'm guessing.
I already forget what we're
not
talking
very
about.
Good. Yeah. You're smoking a joint. I'm on my 4th beer already. And we just started this shit. So we're going to forget by the end of the episode. All right.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Treybark Assassin, Rodney,
Blam.
Bump Shop Diaries, our permanent coffee collab, whether or not he sells coffee or not. Hardtail blend from the Black Coffee Congregation. Whole or ground, baby. If you buy one of our beautiful camp mugs, which you can get on lowlifechopperpodcast.com, and it is camp season, I will give you a personalized email that has a $5 off code for that delicious, nutritious coffee. So, you're gonna drink coffee anyways, right? What are you buying, Folgers? What are you doing? Why don't you're gonna buy the thing anyways? Why don't you buy it from people that are into the same shit that you're into? Buy the hardtail blend from Rodney, okay? Who the fuck owns Folgers? Probably like a senator's daughter or some shit, right? That's like some old money. Support Bump Shop Diaries. All right.
Make new money.
Do you have any shout outs this week?
Too many to list, like in separate days. Separate shout outs. But just huge shout out to everybody I talked to today that's getting behind the Low Life Lowdown and entering raffle prizes. I super fucking appreciate that. Perry and his organization deserve all the fucking support that we can give them. So I super appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this motherfucking interview. We're interviewing ourselves tonight.
Ourselves?
Just us. Just the boys tonight. We're hoping to bullshit a little bit, but the analytics show that you guys aren't really into just talking about hot dogs and bullshit. So we want to give a little bit of substance to this.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Still don't understand it. We got a weird crowd on our hands.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we have absolutely, so we're talking about like how young people are in our demographics and shit. I will concede that we have some 20-year-olds listening to this podcast, but we have absolutely zero listeners under the age of 20. The 17 to 23 demographic is null. Yeah. So, but maybe I'll prove wrong. I don't know if you guys lie. If you're 16 and you just lie that you're 18 so you can listen to explicit content or something. I don't know. That's cool. But today we wanted to talk about, we get a lot of questions about, yes, choppers and things of that nature, but also, fellas, how did you create the world's premier chopper podcast? They want to know how to make a triple XXX 10 out of 10 points, the cream of the crop, best, hands down, no second place, no consolation prize, best podcast available. So today,
it's not easy.
Today we're going to tell you how, we're going to give you a little peepsy into how the sausage is made, if you can stomach it. And if you have aspirations of becoming a podcaster yourself, maybe you already have one, maybe you've always wanted to start one, alongside the billion people that, I think they say there's a new podcast like every 3 seconds or something, which is like a new one. We're just going to impart that knowledge to you. What kind of equipment we use, what kind of software we do, and things that we've found through this journey that have been important to us. I would say a good starting place is Now, hopefully you're going to start a chopper podcast. I mean, if you're doing like a history, I guess it's still applicable if you're doing like a true crime podcast or whatever, but just assuming you want to start something with like motorcycles. And there's only a handful of them out there that I've listened to. And this one is obviously the best, hands down. Everybody knows that.
I think this is the only like podcast that is chopper podcast.
Yeah.
I think all the other ones are like all mixed.
Yeah, and that's really the first step is what's the concept, right? So we try to stay in the sphere of chopper community, you know, so interview tattoo artists, leatherwork people that make hard parts, people that, you know, but building choppers is the core. And then the auxiliary stuff around that, painters, things like that. But that's our concept. Chopper and chopper community, right? And we try not to stray too far out of that. Makes it hard to come up with content, I'll tell you what. Sometimes.
Makes it so hard.
Like when you haven't thought about what you're going to do all week, and then I'm like, hey, you want to do you know, like as we're recording, I'm like, hey, you want to do a podcast about making podcasts? And Loctite's like, eh. And I'm like, well, let's do it anyways. But come up with a good concept, right? So are you just going to be like, are you one of those two wheels is two wheels guys? Is it going to be, you know, like long form? Is it going to be interview style? Right? Because there's podcasts out there where it's just people and they talk back and forth, right? They don't typically have guests. So is it going to be like inviting guests? And, you know, what's the concept? What's the idea that everything's going to be centered around? And then once you have that, you need to figure out, you know, like, I guess the first next step is, how the fuck do you record a podcast? So let's just say it's you have your concept. Yeah. You can start off with basically $0 and you can do it on your phone. There's apps that do that.
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, that's how this one started. Right. And I would say that, and you must agree that it's better to do it without the equipment than to put it on hold until you get all the other stuff ready. Like it's better with anything in life, right? Like just don't wait until you have all your ducks in a row and you launch. You're not like you're just a dude. So just start doing it, and the passion's going to drive you to do it better and better, and you'll accumulate that stuff. But you don't want to go into debt buying microphones and software and shit, right? So just do it and go and listen. Go to lowlifechopperpodcast.com and listen to the first episode of the Low Life Chopper podcast.
It's not. And it's not going to be good even if you have equipment, because you don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe we can help out with some of the things that we've come across in our journey here. But I'd say that definitely, like, you started out right. You said, I want to do a chopper podcast, and I'm just going to start doing it on my phone.
Yeah.
And you had some reluctant co-hosts, but you were just like, oh, we're doing it. And you just launched it.
Yep.
And that first episode
was tough,
interviewing
man. We're doing
your friends.
Recording and editing on a cell phone.
What program was it? Do you remember?
What?
That you recorded on?
I think we were recording right on Anchor.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
I think. I can't even fucking remember. It's been so long now.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah. But I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So so Anchor is, at the time, there's no such thing as Anchor anymore. It's Spotify for podcasters. But there's all sorts of
doing this, bro.
Yeah. They've been absorbed by other companies. But go and look at whatever. Just get it done. Get that first episode done. You have your concept. The first episode's going to suck. And in fact, I would say, you know, like, even from when we had that reboot, right? My first episode here sucked. We did it on Zoom. You know, you don't have everything figured out, right? But you just do it. You just plow ahead. And you have your concept. My concept that I brought was, we need to do a video podcast. So that's the way we went. not knowing how to do it properly. And we still don't, but you learn by doing. So you have if you do have some of that recording equipment, you don't need much, right? You just need a quiet space. Yeah, I'll say that, like, from everything that I've read in my experience is with a podcast, the number one thing you have to concern yourself with after the concept is the quality of the audio.
Yeah.
Because people get real annoyed. So, like, if you're outside and there's wind whipping by and, like, like people honking horns and shit, people get distracted. Typically people listen to podcasts in their car or with their earbuds in or whatever.
Yeah. And that's when it's the worst,
auto
is in
quality.
earbuds.
Yeah, because you hear every little fucking thing.
Everything.
Yeah. So, best thing to do is, just get a relegate a spot in your house or in your garage where you're going to do the recording, and whatever equipment you have, just get it started. Now, get better equipment as you grow. So, I had the luxury of coming on to this podcast. I already had quite a substantial listenership. But in those early days when you first started, like, how many people were listening to episode 1 that first week and episode 2 the next week?
Episode 1, not that many. Episode 2, it jumped pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And by episode 3, we're getting like 900 a week.
After your third episode. Okay.
Yeah. Once people found it, it took off pretty quick.
Yeah. And did you guys you launched the Low Life Chopper podcast on Instagram at the same time?
Instagram and Facebook, yeah.
And Facebook. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely start a separate business page. No, well, not a business page, but just like a podcast page, and share it out. You're going to want to keep your podcast separate from your personal stuff. You know what I mean? Because people go to the podcast page for that specific content, so they don't want to see pictures of your fucking kid's 5th birthday party. They really don't. Yeah. They don't care, right?
Yeah.
So start a social account. That's easy enough to do. Launch your first episode and start trying to get people to listen to it. Podcasts, once you record it on your shitty equipment that you have, and let's just say that maybe you were able to cobble together a microphone out of a tin can and a string, you're going to have like an MP3 file. Or if you're doing video, you're going to have to have some more sophisticated equipment. There's free software out there. A lot of people use Audacity if you're a Windows guy. I don't know if they have it for Mac, but that's just like a free audio software that you can use to like do some mild editing and stuff. But you're going to have an MP3 or an MP4 if you have video as well, and you need a place to upload it. So
yeah, you got to get a host. You got to like get somewhere where like a host, like what Anchor is.
Oh yeah.
And like what Spotify is. That way you can upload it to that and it distributes it everywhere.
Yeah. So basically, like, there's Apple iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, all those weird ones, Stitcher and shit. You have to start an account. Spotify is free. That used to be Anchor. There's all sorts of them out there though, like Podbean and whatever. I went with Spotify because that's what we already had going, and they're really pretty aggressively moving into the podcasting space. So there's some pretty cool benefits there, especially for like monetization. But you have to get an aggregator. So pick your aggregator. Go ahead and Google all day long, figure out which one you want. Spotify is fine with me, even though they did cancel me. They canceled us, and I'm still salty about that. But it's really easy, and it integrates with a lot of the other softwares that you might be using down the line. So you upload your first episode and to one of those places, and most of them are free. Some of them are not free. Some of them have like, recording apps mixed in with the hosting portion of it. But whatever way you do it, you're going to have to get it to an aggregator that's going to send it to iTunes, and that part is not that easy if you're shitty with computers, because they're set up off of what's called an RSS feed. some fucking nerd shit. And you kind of have to go to each one of those sites and set up your own specific feed to put it into the aggregator so then it can get to all those places. So, and you want to get it to as many different places as possible. You really want it to get onto all of them, because I don't know why people don't listen to, like, I mean, if you're a Google guy, you listen to it on what, Google Play is, or whatever the fucking Google Store or whatever it's called.
Well, Stitcher.
Stitcher,
Apple's, Spotify.
Yeah, Apple's definitely the biggest still, but Spotify's moving in on that. But one thing I will say about Spotify is they do the video as well. So if you're doing video and audio, you can go to Spotify and it will stream video and audio right from that app. And if you're doing either, YouTube as well, right? So that typically podcast aggregators, they don't post to YouTube, right? You have to do that separately.
Right.
And you can have just audio files on there if you want, with like your logo or whatever as a screen. But definitely if you're doing video, you want to get it on YouTube, because that's another whole section. I mean, there's some people that just watch podcasts on YouTube. I believe you're one of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple that I'll listen to. Like if I'm on like a long ride, I'll listen to it in the car. But 90% of the podcasts I listen to, I watch on YouTube now. Just because it's funny, like you get to see the reactions and all that shit. It makes it more like personal.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the video aspect. Even if I'm in the car driving, I'll have that Spotify on and I'll peek over, see what's going on. It's just like a different layer. So at this day and age, I don't know why you wouldn't do video as well, just because that's where all podcasts are moving. Like all the major podcasts have. It's a lot of fucking
work, though.
It is more work. And if you're a one-man show, I mean, that's tough too, right? So like, imagine doing this all by yourself. Like all the social media posts, all the recording, all the ideas, all the talking. Like you have to be like one of those motherfuckers that talks a lot to keep that interesting, because you cannot have dead air for very long. I
don't know how people do it, honestly. That would be fucking tough.
It'd be weird talking to yourself for that long.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you do like a weekly thing. And that's the other thing too. I think the biggest part about having a successful podcast is being able to put it out every single week. People want that consistency. Like I know this podcast that I've listened to that I was like super digging, and then they started like doing every other week, and then like every 3 weeks, and then like once a month, and I just stopped listening to them because like I don't know. Not that like I'm not trying to support them, but it's like it's easier for me to remember that I listen to your podcast from listening to it every week.
Yeah. I'm the same
now
way.
It's like
the ones that I listen to the most are, they drop at a certain time of day, on a certain day.
Yep. And like not like in a cocky way, but like we've been doing this for almost 6 years. Every single Friday, we fucking own Fridays now. People literally that listen to the show, that's how they start their Friday. And so it's like, that's what you want to get to. That's like the achievement point, is like, you want to own that fucking day. Like people look forward to that day.
I wanted to say last week, just a shout out. You had mentioned, if like all the stress of doing the video podcast, send me a little heart emoji.
Yeah.
People were doing that. And I had forgot that you said that. And I was getting these random dudes sending me heart emojis. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, thank you. Like, I was like, is this kid hitting on me? But then I was like, oh, he said to send me a little heart emoji. And shout out to those dudes that sent me that little heart emoji and said that they enjoyed the video. They said it's 1,000 times better and it makes their fucking Friday. And that's the kind of shit that keeps me going. Like the positive feedback from people saying like, hey, I like what you're doing. And that makes me want to do it more and do it better, But yeah, consistency. is like, I don't know. I'm just very regimented during my week. Like,
Same.
I wake up at a certain time. I drink my coffee, brush my teeth. Like, I do things in a certain order in the morning. And I like my podcast like that. You know, like I'd like to try to go to bed at a certain time. You know, I like some order in my life. You know,
Yeah.
Makes it more palatable. So same thing with like podcasts I listen to. I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to this one on. You know, I have one that I've listened to for fucking 6 years, and it's like every Monday. It's going to drop every Monday in the afternoon, and I'm going to have that, and I know when I'm going to listen to it, and it's a long form podcast. Because that's the other thing, people are listening to this shit, and if you do long form podcasts, that's 2 hours. You know what I mean? Out of their day every Monday. You know, and that's the other thing I would suggest is I see a lot of podcasts dropping. They're only 30 minutes long, and that's for a podcast. The most successful podcasts are long form, like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, and that's the biggest.
Because people listen to podcasts to burn time. They're not just listening because they want to fucking hear your voice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on a long car ride to work. You know, like they have a long commute to work or whatever. Or they fucking
or they're trying to like get through the day or.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of dudes listen to us while they work, you know, with the earbud in and all that shit.
Yeah.
And helps the time pass. So I would say, you know, like you have your concept. If you're a solo dude, God bless you for fucking talking for 2 hours. I don't know how the fuck you could do that. Interviews definitely help, you know, keep the conversation going. You get to meet cool people. And there's a couple of them that are like panels where you have like 4 or 5 people. And that's a lot of fun too. But the more people you have,
it gets hectic.
It gets hectic, but also all the schedule conflicts and shit. Like that's just with me and you. It's just like this week, we're like, are we recording tonight? And you're like, well, I can't do tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I can't do Thursday, can't do Friday. Yeah. Monday's already passed, so it's like, we only have 2 schedules that we have to fuck with. Imagine if you have 3 or 4 people getting everybody on the same time and to be consistent and reliable. Because me and you, like when we do this, not getting it out on a Friday is not a fucking choice. Like we're gonna have it. We're gonna make it happen, even if we have to stay late or fucking wake up early or do it at fucking in the middle of the day. We always make it happen, you know, somehow. But yeah. So you got your recording software, you got your aggregator, you got your concept, you got your people, you got your social media, and I would say that I would highly recommend doing video. So all you need is like the equipment wise, a webcam. The best that you can afford for all your equipment, right? So I wouldn't say go and drop $500 on a microphone. If you don't have $500, drop on a microphone. But any microphone is better than the speakers in your laptop or the speakers on your phone. You know, any USB microphone is going to be better than that. So get an actual microphone. The best are, they're going to have like, they're probably upwards of like $200, and they're going to have what's called an XLR cable. If you're into audio video shit, it's a really thick fucking cable for audio, and it's all the way. It's the standard connection for these things. They don't plug into computers. It's like 3 big prongs, big thick boy. I actually have a couple down by my feet, but I don't want to like. Yeah, there we go. XLR. And that's going to get you the best sound quality. The microphone too, that we use and most people use is hypercardioid pickup pattern, which is basically a heart shape right in front of the microphone, so it doesn't get ambient noise from other places in the room. If you have an omnidirectional mic, it just picks up everything, right? And that's why I got this foam back here, because when I'm talking, I got foam in front of me, I got foam behind me. Your voice is going to echo all over the place. Audio is one of the hardest things to fucking fix. You know,
it's tough.
I could use a Snapchat filter and fix our busted ass faces. So the video, that's easy to fix, and you can cut that shit out. But if you have bad audio,
the tough part about audio is like you can have the best equipment and be recording in a shitty room, and the podcast sounds like shit. Like if your acoustics aren't set right, you don't have the right mic, you don't have a good interface, you don't have your levels set correctly, it can still sound like shit with good equipment.
True. Yeah, and we have pretty good equipment. You know, we have mixers, you know, we have 4K fucking capable cameras. These microphones probably about $500 a pop, you know, plus the mixer, plus the XLR, all that integrated shit. But we still have problems with audio, and it's because you're working with computers, and there's just a ton of info on the internet for starting a podcast that'll go, if you're not like pretty good with computers, just follow the lead, you know. They'll tell you what levels to switch and where, because there's levels on your mixer, there's going to be levels on your computer. I still get confused sometimes, and I don't switch. Like the playback isn't coming through the headphones, coming through the fucking computer, and then there's like reverb. So the audio is the biggest pain in the fucking ass to get right. So basically, once you get it right, you don't fucking touch anything. Don't touch any of the buttons.
Unless you get a co-host that screams one week and then talks quiet the next.
Yeah. I was telling Loctite before we were recording, I had a meeting with the product manager for Riverside, which is what we use to do the recordings. And that came up in conversation. And I was like, because they have like audio fixing abilities, but they use AI, and it's not that smart. And I'm like, sometimes
it's not smart.
He's at 11.5, and then sometimes he's at like 4.7. So I need to be able to have like dynamic control over where I can adjust that audio, you know, so he doesn't come out sounding like a Smurf, you know, because they're just taking that entire MP3 file and like compressing it. So, yeah, I would highly recommend, we've used for actually recording. If you're just doing it locally, like you and your boy, just do it locally on your computer. You don't need any of the podcasting applications where you do like remote interviews. Just get a good microphone, or a couple good microphones for you and your bud, or just one good one for you, a decent webcam. Here's a hot tip. You can use, if you're an Apple guy, you can use your phone. And in fact, I've used my phone up until today because I dropped my phone and I smashed the camera on it.
Nice.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to our podcast actually while I took a shower, and I grabbed my phone. It fucking fell on the toilet and smashed. But you can,
fuck.
Yeah, dude, the back glass all fucked, dude. So, but you can just take your iPhone. You can use the microphone in there too, by the way. But it has an awesome camera in it. If you have like a later model one, mine's like a 13. And if you have a Mac, you can just plug it in and use that as a high definition camera. And then you're going to need an editing software. If you have a Mac, you're going to have iMovie, or you can use like Audacity if you're just using audio only. But if you are going to do interviews, there's a few different places you can go. The big one right now is Riverside. And that's what we use for remote interviewing. So basically, it's kind of like a Zoom meeting, only it's for podcasting, right? It's going to have higher quality audio, and it's going to have higher quality video. So I've seen a lot of people, they do the video podcast, but they're just using free Zoom, or they're using like Teams or something, or one of those remote like conference calls. And what happens with that is you're recording, your audio and video is being compressed and sent to servers in fucking China. So the audio quality in the video, China, it's going to China. So the audio video quality is compressed, and they compress it by making it shitty. It's called lossy compression. And then it goes over to their cloud server where you can access it. I didn't mean to do that. That's a thumbs down for thumbs down. Can I do a thumbs down?
Nope, they don't like any negativity.
Just thumbs up for Zoom. Okay. China must be listening. So if you use any of those, your audio and video are going to come out like shit. So don't use those unless you have to, and just get her done. And in fact, our first episode was on Zoom. So you can go back and watch that and see how shitty it is compared to this. So
Zoom is very hard too, because the more people you have in the room, the worse the quality gets.
Mm-hmm.
And like so many things can interfere with it because it's an online. I don't even know how they fucking designed it, but so many things can interfere with it. If you have your phone too close, it's gonna it fucks it up and shit. It's fucked.
Yeah.
Never a fan of Zoom.
Yeah, and it's a fucking free service, you know? I mean, you can pay, and I think we did have a paid subscription, but it doesn't help like fundamentally how it works. Riverside does what in all the other. So if there's a couple of ones that I'll shout out here. So there's one for streaming if you want to do lives. Oh my god, there's the fucking thumb again. I didn't know it was going to do that. I've not used. I thought if I didn't use the iPhone, it wouldn't like do the thumbs up shit. Anyways, so I'm just counting. So I guess I'll do this. Does this do a fucking emoji? Okay, one finger. There's a couple of big ones that I'll shout out. So StreamYard, if you're doing live streams, and there's a dude from the UK doing it. I want to say it's called like Let's Talk Motorcycles. One. Is it Let's Talk Motorcycles?
No, I like the StreamYard thing. I don't know.
The StreamYard. Oh, you like that platform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. So that do all the banners and all that shit.
Yeah, it's good for streaming, live streaming. So if you want to do a live streaming thing, then StreamYard is good, and you can edit it after. You know, it has some mild editing tools, but basically everything you put on there live. So you can have the things like scrolling across. You can have like like overlays and things like that with your logo. And then it's just like this. It just has whoever's in the room, bunch of guests, you stream it live, and then you can upload it later. The other one that we tried was Squadcast, which is they have a partnership with Descript, which is a text editing software. So Squadcast takes your video and your audio, and it splits them into two different files. So you have MP3, MP4. And the key to all these is that they record locally, right? So when we're on the show right now, like Loctite looks all pixelated, right? It's streaming video. But what it's also doing is it's downloading on his computer. When you just
said that, it pixelated you. That was weird. Now China's you're crystal clear buddy. Again.
China's controlling my computer. We're getting hacked, dude, from Wuhan. So yeah, it's streaming, but it's also downloading the actual better quality files locally on the computer. So if we have 3 people on, right, myself, Loctite, and a guest, my computer's downloading my files, Loctite's is downloading his locally, and our guest is, and then after the recording's done, it uploads to the host. So then I get the 1080p or the 4K video with the higher quality Dolby fucking sound files. But during the live, it's like kind of shitty. But Descript is what's called a text-based editor, where you have a transcript. So you upload it, you take your, you record your podcast, your video podcast, your audio podcast, and then it populates a transcript. It reads uses AI. Everything uses AI now, right? So AI just listens to the sound of your voice, and it comes up with a script, and you can go in that script and you can edit right from the text. So it's not like a timeline. You're not like splicing up videos. You're just what people are saying. So if I, am talking and I go, F something, and I want to cut out that swear word, a real man named Bendover, I know you're listening. When you cuss, you can just highlight that word and cut it out, and it cuts it out, right? So you're editing the text, not the video. So it's good for someone that's not that wasn't part of the AV club or whatever, right? But what we landed on Riverside, it's really the best and easiest way to do it. And it has integrations with Spotify, has integrations with YouTube to do live streaming and things like that. So once you're done, you have your file and you can start editing it and putting your logos and putting your captions and all that shit. And then you just click it and it uploads to Spotify and they aggregate it. There's that fucking thumb again. That's 3 thumbs this episode. I didn't know I talked with...
China's telling you you're doing a great job.
I'm all thumbs this episode. But yeah, so it's really easy to get started because you should come from humble beginnings. Like, you definitely don't drop a bunch of dough. Everything costs money, right? So obviously the hardware costs money, but all these services I'm talking about cost money too. And they're all around. They all have free versions, but they have like fucking watermarks on them and shit and things that you would never want to put on your podcast, right? So you're looking at like $30 a month minimum, to just get like a basic package. But it does a lot of the work for you, like you can just set it up. It's very user friendly. Like, even if you're retarded with computers, you can still kind of muddle through it. And I would highly recommend a video podcast, because then you can put it anywhere and you can just use the audio too, like people can then have the option. It gets both those trains of thought, right? Like, people that just like the audio or just like the video, they can choose at that point. But yeah, after you get going with it, the other thing I'll say is, I guess you probably have more perspective here than I do, because you started off on the ground level. You have to have, I imagine, some pretty thick skin and a constitution and that stick-to-itiveness, because it's a lot of work and you're kind of fumbling and you're probably very unsure of yourself. Like, what are those early days? Like, what's the turning point where you're like, all right, this, what I'm doing, people are digging, like, where are you getting that feedback from? Or are there times when you're just like, fuck this shit?
It was super tough in the beginning, because like we wanted to put out the episode every Friday, which we managed to do, but it was like, it wasn't a secret that like the quality wasn't great. But luckily people were okay with like the super raw shit. And it pulled a lot of fucking people in. And the cool part was like seeing it build, like every time, seeing like the next level. And we got a set of microphones. Then we got better microphones. Then we got a better fucking interface. Then we got a better fucking editing software. And then when you jumped on, then we got into being more active on the Patreon, opening a website, doing video, doing YouTube. So it's cool to like hit all those mile markers and like have the people still be with you from the beginning that sees the transformation. But I think like the part where it's like I stopped stressing out was after we made the first jump to using a small interface, just like a 2-mic interface, 2 good microphones, and seeing like the reaction from the people, like, yo, the fucking audio quality is dope, blah, blah, blah. That's when I was like, all right, cool. These guys get it. Like, it's going to take a little bit, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to do a quick shout out. Fish Tank Whiskey, longest standing continuous Patreon subscriber.
Really?
At the giveaway level. Yeah.
Stud.
And a secondary shout out to Fish Tank Whiskey, because he just sent me a picture of him rolling all G'd up with an OE. That old school 40 ounce, bro. Fucking gangster.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. He's keeping it grimy, dude.
Yeah.
He looks, don't let those glasses fool you, dude. He's fucking gangster.
Yeah, he's a gangster.
Fucking drinking an OE on a Tuesday. Yeah. The when I guess we had a bit of a restart too after we got canceled. because we had to change the name of the show. We kind of had to rebuild that base. We lost a lot of people too during that time. But it's been steadily growing, and like it's growing faster than I've ever seen it since it started. We're getting people from all over. We're approaching like, I think we had like 7,000 followers or something when I first came on. Now we're like we're fast approaching 10K. And this is organic shit growth here. We don't pay for fucking followers. We don't fake it, bro. These are people that are like about it. And that's important to me, because it's like someone goes and starts a fucking YouTube channel, and then 2 weeks later they have 20,000 followers. It's like, dude, you only have like fucking 300 watches. Like, you obviously paid for people with like bots and shit, which I think is fucking it's you're lying, and to me it's like, I don't let fucking scam ass parts pages follow us either. Those fuckers get blocked. I look at, like, when someone follows us, I look and I'm like, all right, they got bikes on their page, and if they have bikes or something, like they're a tattoo artist, or they're fucking, they make wallets, or any of the cool shit, any cool biker shit, they're gonna follow back. In fact, there was some dude, I think it was just this week, he was like stoked. He was like, I can't believe you're following me back. And I'm like, I'm a fucking dirtbag. I'm not like, I don't have like a royal lineage, dude. Like, I looked at your page. You're into cool motorbikes. I'm like, I will follow you back. In fact, actually, if you want to go to the way back machine, one of the early episodes when I first followed you guys on Instagram, I was really new to Instagram, and I followed all of you guys in the page, and you're the only one that followed me back. And I actually called you guys all out on an early episode.
Really?
I was like, hey, Loctite knows what's up. What the fuck? What's up with the follow back, bitch? Yeah.
I'm the person of the people, dude.
That's why we call you the mayor of Choppertown. He cares about his constituents. But yeah, this, I guess, like if here's the other thing too is, like, if you're getting started and you're really passionate about it, you want to start something up, you want to do something, and it's like, I highly recommend it, because you get to know people in your area, and you get to know people like in your extended area and shit, like, really well, because it's like they get to know you. Like, I'm kind of like an open book on here. I'm not like a very private person. I'm not like worried about fucking stalkers and shit, but like, you open yourself up, and people come from all over, and they're like, hey, I dig it. I dig what you're doing. And they like you as a person. They feel like they know you too. You know what I mean? Like, cause they listen to you every week. So you kind of spark up new friendships pretty quickly. Like, you're kind of just like, when you meet them, they like already know you. So it's kind of like natural.
Every person I know in the Chopper community, besides the La Spada guys, met from this show. Every single person I know. I don't hang out with anybody that does choppers that were friends before this show. Not one person.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah. After like during COVID and shit, when like you couldn't like see your old friends and shit, I was just like, that was a good time to cut ties. So all those toxic ass fucking friends I had, I was just like, I'm not gonna be friends with you anymore. I made a decision. I was like, I'm only going to be friends with people that are into choppers, because I only have so much goddamn time in the day. Choppers and family and all the other shit I got to do. Like, I'm not interested in like having like friends that aren't like, what are we going to talk about?
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't ride bikes. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. What do you do? What do you spend your money on?
What do you like? Fucking, what are you into, like CrossFit or something? I don't want to talk to you. We have nothing in common. It's pretty apparent. I mean, all I do is look at motorcycles, talk about motorcycles, specifically choppers, by the way, too. Like, I have people at my work and shit, and they'll be like, oh, you're into bikes. I have a fucking Jubilee edition or some shit. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you about that. I guess I'm a hater in that sense, but I just think it's better just to like, if you need to keep a small circle. I'm not a dick about it, I'm like, oh, Jubilee edition, that's pretty cool. Which, by the way, the Jubilee edition is not very cool. Have you ever seen this fucking bike? I'm gonna put a picture up of it, dude. It is weird.
What is it?
I think it was released in England. Maybe some of our OSD. Let us know. Have you seen these Jubilees around the Buckingham Palace?
Oh, he definitely fucking knows.
I think it's like for the Queen of England or some shit that came out with like Harley came out with something for that. And it looks like a Hayabusa, dude. It looks fucking horrendous. Ugh. Yeah, it looked fucking gross. Yeah. So I was like, I was polite and I was like, cool bike. And then I vomited off camera.
You're like, sorry, by the way, you're fired.
Yeah. I'm suddenly not feeling so well. And then I vomited because fuck the Queen and fuck that Jubilee bike. But yeah, definitely if you're thinking about, starting a podcast, I don't see other motorcycle podcasts as competition at all. And I'm 100%, down to help answer any questions. I'm still figuring it out too. But I've learned an awful lot. I'm coming up on a year now. And I am pretty techie. So I did, I went to college briefly for audio visual. I wanted to make movies and shit. So I know about like actual like audio and video.
Fucking movie director.
Yeah. I wrote a script.
Worked with Spielberg.
I wanted to do it before I got my job. Before I got like this career job, I was going to move out to fucking California and try to
film for
Bang movies. No, dude, I wanted to do. I wrote a porn actually once for my cousin, who is adjacent in the porn industry. Yeah, I wrote a script. He wanted to bring like the stories back to pornography, and he was working with some people.
That's pretty dope.
And I wrote a script for him. But I wrote a script for a fucking awesome ass movie, and I almost shot it guerrilla style, but ended up getting a career type job, and all my dreams and hopes were crashed. But yeah, I'm good with that kind of shit. So audio and video stuff, I can talk turkey, and if you want to bounce ideas off us or whatever, I'm happy to help any way I can. I think that there's not enough motorcycle content out there. I mean, we've shouted them out on the show a million times, like I love Crazy Gentleman, Big Truth. Those are just solid, I'm a huge Truth fan too. And he does, he's the OG chopper dude. But he has really interesting people on, because that motherfucker knows famous people and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's been around for a long time. He's got, he knows like heavy hitters. But he also does like, what I like about it is like really New England centric too. You know what I mean? Like all the paranormal stuff. But yeah, those dudes, like, but again, it's like there's enough space. It's an infinitely big pie, So if you're into choppers and you're doing something similar, obviously don't copy it. Don't copy this show and call you and your buddy are like, yeah, I'm a lino and Rock-Tite. What's up, you mother jammers? It's Wednesday. But if you have like if you want to bounce some ideas off me or whatever, I'm happy to help. I was thinking about having me and my brother have been talking about doing another podcast too.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm all set up for it, and but it wouldn't be about motorcycles. But I just can't get him off his lazy ass to actually fucking do it.
About what?
We haven't landed on a concept yet. I actually wanted to have so my brother he's a know-it-all, right? He thinks he's so fucking smart. And every once in a while I trick him into showing that he actually doesn't know something. So I'll be like, yeah, you know how like anti-fog mirrors work in the shower, right? And he's like, yeah, of course I know. And I'll be like, yeah, there's like a little tube in the back, and hot water drips into the mirror, and then it doesn't fog because thermodynamics. And he's like, yeah, I already knew that. What the fuck? And I go, dude, that's not how it works. I just made that up.
Yeah,
you fucking idiot. So I wanted to have a show that
oh, I love it.
Yeah, and the other thing is, so I'm a big movie
guy. The
guy.
Two Brothers podcast, and you guys just talk shit the whole time.
Yeah, he looks. We're like twins, and we're pretty funny when we get together. But the other thing is I'm a huge movie guy, and I watch hundreds. I own thousands of movies, like on DVDs. I watch movies every night. Big movie guy. My brother, he just reads like the wiki page, so he'll just be like, we'll be talking about it. And I'll be like, oh yeah. And then The Departed, they did it. And he's like, yeah, you know that. But I go, dude, you've never even seen the movie. And he's like, yeah, I have. But he won't admit that he hadn't seen it. But I'm like, dude, you just read the wiki page of the fucking movie. So the concept of that was I was gonna do a movie podcast called Josh Doesn't Watch Movies. And then we'll talk about the plot of the movie, me having seen the actual fucking thing, and he just read the wiki page, and then he pretends like he knows. or something like that, like Josh knows everything, and I like read about something like the space-time continuum, and he's like, yeah, I know that. He's a fucking character. But watch out for that. If he's also like one of the laziest people I ever met, so I don't think it'll ever happen, but it would be fun. We should actually have him on as a guest.
Let's do it.
I'm about just be like, hey Josh, read the wiki page on choppers, and then we'll talk to you about it.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
That fucking cocksucker doesn't even listen to this show. And he doesn't have any swag from our store.
What
way to support your brother, you piece of dog shit.
Motherfucker, dude. We're definitely
what the fuck?
On.
Yeah. He'll be at the he'll definitely be at the Low Life Lowdown, but he's there just for the food. In the hopes that he might see a nipple or two.
Was he there? He was there last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hosted up by the food truck. He would just go from the food truck
garden.
to the
Both
beer
you guys were in the beer garden at the end.
Dude, it's funny because
you guys were just like in the beer garden talking shit to each other.
Dude, my dad went too. And my dad, he's on high on the spectrum of a bunch of different stuff. But he ended up he's not a very sociable guy. He's self-described as painfully shy. And he was at the beer garden, and some dude with one leg fucking posted up at his fucking picnic table with him and talked to him for 4 hours. And my dad's too polite to get up and be like, this is annoying. Walk away. Yeah, so he just listened to this fucking Vietnam vet with no feet. But yeah, that was a good time. I did get busted for drinking beer outside the beer garden, but they were polite about it.
They didn't see all the nips though.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking too? Days. I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to have a super soaker filled with JMO that you squirt into people's mouths?
Yeah. We could probably do that.
Yeah. They probably
have lots of JMO.
Sanction that. So we'll just put that it's Coca-Cola on the outside. We'll put it in a Coca-Cola bottle. It has to be the original Super Soaker, like the fucking lime green one, though.
Yeah. Oh, my fucking neck is killing me, bro. I think it's because I have bad posture. Look, this is me sitting up straight. This whole time, you've been able to see my face because I'm so slumped. I sit like this.
You look so much taller. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, this is how I normally sit. This is me sitting up straight.
Yeah, I have pretty bad posture my damn self. I'm developing a mighty hump. Yeah, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. And then I like realize how I sleep, like all twisted up, like fucking, yeah. And I see these dudes with like those fancy pillows, like with the slots to put your arm and stuff. And like, who's sleeping like that? I just like bunch shit. I just like, however I pass out.
Same.
Then I wake up and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
You just got to shake it off.
When I'm camping, dude, there's a lot of guys that have like camp pillows, which I still think is weird as fuck. I just bunch up my fucking vest and my sweatshirt, and that's what I use for a pillow.
Yeah, I use every time I camp, I have a Baja, a drug rug, and it's perfect for if you get caught out in the rain or to keep you warm under the vest. And it's already rolled up. Like once it gets hot, you roll it up, tie it to your forks, and then perfect pillow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable material. It feels like you fell asleep on a YDC couch or some shit. But
oh, I love that. I remember, I think the first couple dead beats, well, not the first one, but like the second and third one up at Fiddlehead. It wasn't too far from a Walmart. And it was always nice to get the fuck out of camp and go to like Civilization for a little bit. I remember we used to get there, the pillows they sell at Walmart is like $2.96. And the shittiest fucking pillow. But we'd use it for the weekend, and at the end, the way we left Deadbeat was everybody threw their pillows in the fire pit.
Yep.
And just have, because like you can't pack that on a bike. The disposable pillow that you just fucking send to its grave at the end of Deadbeat.
Yeah. Yeah, $2.50, dude. I mean, those have stuff in it. Some people have like the inflatable ones, the inflatable pillows. Those things fucking suck ass.
Yeah, I've never used one. I've never used one.
I think you can get a camp pad, inflatable camp pad with a inflatable pillow like built in. Yeah.
No shit. Yeah, I've always just slept on the ground. I just get a sleeping bag and get in my tent. Or a hammock.
Yeah. The inflatable camp pad makes a big difference for me.
Really?
Because I'm not the best at positioning. Like, I'll always be like, that seems pretty good, but it's like under a tree and there's like a root going right through the center.
Yeah.
But the camp pad just negates all that shit. But the only problem is like you have to get one that has like a battery powered inflator, because the ones that you stomp on to inflate, they don't ever work. I have one that you like stomp, and I'm like stomping on that fucking thing for like 3 hours, and I just wait until someone comes by that has like an electric inflator.
You can just have one that you can like, you can just blow it up like with your own lungs.
That's I end up doing that.
I think it wouldn't take too much air for that, right? Those things aren't that big.
It's like it's like a fucking float, like a pool float type of thing. Yeah. It depends on how many packs of cigarettes you smoke a day. Usually when I go out camping, I like to smoke on those trips, so busting out my baby lungs. But they take up a lot of real estate, those inflatable camp pads, too. And I ain't spending a lot of money. I'm not spending a lot of money on camping equipment. I'll tell you what.
No.
I'm going to Wally World.
Even when I was deep in the hammock game, Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got gifted a nicer hammock from Amy, I think for my birthday or something. With like a bug net and shit, which was fucking clutch. Bug nets are fucking sick.
Yeah. I've yet to sleep in a hammock.
It's hit or miss for me. I either have the best night's sleep of my life, or I wake up and I can't get out because my back hurts so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, I don't know.
And I always just feel so vulnerable, dude. Like if there's like a bear coming to get your ass, you're just like you're a swinging burrito.
Yep.
Not like a tent's any better. It's the same material, but it's like at least I can't see it.
At least that looks like to a bear, it can't see you. It can't see through your tent and be like, oh, there's some food in there. It just sees you swinging out there, and it's just like, that's a dude I could probably bite.
Yeah.
And plus, in a tent, it's like once you zip it up for the night, You're just filling that thing up with methane, and that bear pokes its head in. That fucking thing's outie, dude. It's like, this shit is rotten. You've been eating fucking like half-cooked hot dogs.
Beer. Yeah, it smells like beer, raw hot dogs, and cigarettes.
Yeah. It's like, no thanks. I'll go eat this guy that's, like hanging out in the wind.
Yeah.
No bugs on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like a tent anyways, because I like to, I hang out. I'm a stander, like people say like, oh, you're chilling in a hammock, swinging around and stuff. But like when I'm out, if I'm awake, I'm just standing around, walking around and stuff. I don't want to sit in a hammock.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice for like midday. Like if you want to take like a midday nap, it's nice to have a hammock because the tent is hot as fuck in the middle of the day.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to have the hammock for that.
Yeah, I don't nap.
Like if you tie one on way too early and you're like, fuck, I'm never going to make it till tonight, and you need a quick power nap, hammock's the way to go.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, 10 gets really hot. Like you wake up in the morning and you're just like, dude, you're like very hungover. Yeah, you can't breathe. Yeah. Yeah, 10. It's been a while since I've been at 10. Because I don't do any of that winter camping.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably about time to start airing that shit out.
I was just thinking that the other day because I was going through shit in the garage and I found my pack that I go on the road with, and I was like, fuck, dude, this shit's been in here forever. Since dead.
It probably has like fucking black mold on it and shit, because you just break it down, stuff it in there, and you're like, yeah, I'll fucking figure that out later. There's still like live spiders in it and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely time. We gotta get a camping trip going on.
Yeah, 100%. I like to go to that spot we went to last time. Right in Auburn. That was a nice little fucking spot. We had like our own little spot, like out on the fucking lagoon.
Yeah, true. Yep. Yeah, I was. For me, it's like too. I'm always kind of like, oh, I just camp out in my backyard. I got 40-something acres out here. We do whatever we want.
Yeah, true.
Just pick a spot. We fucking chop down trees, fireworks, shoot firearms.
I always get nervous sleeping in places like your house, though. Especially your house. You have all the predators at your house.
I live on Bear Hill Road.
Yeah.
There's bears.
Your animals are constantly getting killed. Your backyard is a kill zone.
Yeah, I know, but not for humans. Like, dude, we have bad bobcats and foxes, but they're not going to fuck with you. We do have some black bear, but they don't really fuck with them with you either. And I typically, when I do go camping, I sleep with a hatchet or a pistol. Just in case. Yeah. Just in case.
I don't sleep with anything. I actually camp naked.
Dude, have you ever been woken up by like a bear around your tent? Have you ever had a bear around your tent?
Not a bear. No.
Shit's scary.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I don't think.
Yeah. I was up in the White Mountains. I was camping, and I heard a bear rooting around in the middle of the night because I was younger, but we just got shit faced and passed out in our tents. There's probably fucking food out and shit. Like it's probably munched a couple of Slim Jims and then it walked off. But I mean, it was a fucking bear. And I was like, if it comes to my tent, I'm gonna smash this fucking hatchet in its face. I could take a black bear. Like if you're talking grizzly bear, a black bear.
Black bears are pretty friendly though. If you yell, they'll just run away. Yeah, a grizzly is what you got to worry about. They're literally carnivores.
There's no grizzlies out
Black bears typically aren't carnivores.
Yeah, that's all we got out here is black bears. I haven't we definitely don't have any grizzlies. So
no.
But you know what? Nope. We had some black bears fuck up our bees. We had some hives. We had like 7 hives at one point. And they just came out. Mama bear and her cubs came for breakfast and dinner. Just came, knocked the fucking shit out of them, ate all the fucking till they were full and walked away. Dude, we're out there screaming at him. My wife's out there with a fucking shovel. Like, it didn't care. Didn't move.
Oh, yeah. Now with all that honey.
I'm going to just eat this honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just walked off. But they came back. They kept on coming back every day.
Really?
Those bees didn't make it, yeah.
Yeah, at that point, you got to call the game warden. They'll come out and shoot it with a fucking rubber ball. Scare it.
They came out and they gave us an electric fence for free. And they reimbursed us for the hives, which was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope.
I have a neighbor up the road, old dude, old reverend. He sets up fucking bear traps. Legit.
Like foothold bear traps?
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, his wife was talking about it to us when she was like driving by because there was a bunch of bears out. She's like, watch out for the bears, you know, like Jim got the traps out, and she like stopped herself, knowing like that's illegal. But he's like fucking 80.
Yeah, he's like, I don't give a fuck.
So he didn't give a fuck. Yeah, and he's a reverend, so he's like lives by God's law or whatever.
Yeah, God's on his side.
Fucking kill a bear on God's land if he wants.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I hear quite a bit of gunfire coming from that place. So he does not like visitors.
He's fucking getting it in over there.
Oh, yeah. He's killing them all and letting God sort them out.
He's the only way to fucking do it.
Yep.
Be snooping around my property.
It's been a long time since I've seen a bear around here, though. I mean, like on my property, because we put up electric fences and stuff. I think that deters them pretty good.
Yeah.
But the bobcats and shit, they can sneak around. Dude, all the people that are going to click on this video for podcast advice are going to get very disappointed about halfway through.
We get so sidetracked. It's tough.
I know. I don't even know how we got on this subject.
Neither do I.
But somehow we always start talking about predators, chickens. Well, I mean,
I think the biggest thing though, like it's like a bullet point checklist, right? This is just podcast 101 bullet points. Start the fucking podcast. Just do it.
Do it.
Upgrade your equipment when you can. Get a decent mic. Get an interface. Get a web camera if you're going to try and do video. I will say this. Video is a lot more work than just doing an audio podcast. My personal recommendation, because I'm not a video wizard like my co-host over here, this guy, because you're up here in the corner, right? My advice would be get your feet wet, do an audio podcast. Start building up your listenership, and then start dabbling with the video. Start a Patreon or set up some kind of paywall thing where you can like dabble into video shit, and if it's not great, it's still okay. Once you start figuring out that software and figure out what you want to do, move it into the everyday podcast shit. Next biggest thing, like we said, is consistency. Figure out when you're going to fucking do the podcast, when you're going to release it. That is key, in my opinion. People want to know when the fuck the podcast comes out, and then they expect it to come out. As long as you can do that, you're fucking Gucci. That was weird. I just said that.
It is good. Like if you look at any how to start your own podcast, one of the first pieces of advice they give is consistency. Like pick a day, pick a time, and get it out. And that's just a formula that works. That'll never hurt you. It can only help you.
The other thing like Rhino brought up is figure out what you're going to do the podcast on and make it something that you're passionate about. Because if not, it's going to suck to do the fucking podcast. It's going to be hard. Do something that you're passionate about. Rhino and myself, we're super passionate about choppers. Even though we hate them sometimes, we still love the talk. Rob, the crazy gentleman, he's super into fucking riding cross country and beating the shit out of fucking his Softail and fucking hunting and fishing and all that. So that's what he talks about. Big Truth loves punk music. He loves tattoos. He loves fucking paranormal shit. That's what his podcast is on. You got to make it shit that you're already interested in. Do not try to build a podcast around what you think other people are going to be interested in. Because if you do, it's going to fucking suck. And my last bit of personal advice is just be you. Don't fucking put on a front. Don't put out knowledge that you don't know about. That's why you hear me so many times when people ask questions. I'm like, I don't know, but I'll find out for you. Because I'm not going to talk shit. I'm not going to make myself sound stupid. And that's like the biggest thing is just be like a genuine fucking person. Tell the fucking truth. Talk about shit that you know about. And just don't be a fraud. And people will fucking dig it. No matter what you do the podcast on, there's somebody that wants to listen to it. There's podcasts for everything. So no matter what topic you pick, somebody's going to be into it. So just do what you want to do.
Yep. That's probably the best piece of advice that's given here is just don't create a fucking persona. Like I'm a goofy, giggly, fat fuck, and that's who I am on the show. And it's easy, it's natural, and I don't have to like hide that or guard that. And I'm interested in the people we talk to genuinely, and I'm interested in, what kind of content people like and like the process of making this stuff. And that's what makes it easy to do every week. Like, I don't dread it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there's days where I'm just like burnt the fuck out, but this revitalizes me too. Like I get pumped when we get to, I get to sit with my homie, we get to shoot the shit. And on Friday when it drops and we get like all you guys that are like digging it, like sharing it out, and that shit gets me pumped on a fucking Friday. It gets me pumped. So I think that's the best piece of advice. Just be true to yourself. Like, figure out what you want to do a podcast on. Like, if you're into fucking Beanie Babies or whatever, if you're super into that shit, do a podcast on that. Don't do a podcast on choppers if you're not into choppers, or, like, just be authentic. And that's life advice, but also like, podcast advice. People see right through the bullshit. People are not stupid. You might be able to trick them for a little while, but they'll figure it out. And you don't have to be this big booming persona either. Like, I like to, like Danger Dan. That dude he just talks like he talks. It's nice and slow, like, and that's his appeal. He doesn't have to be like talking a mile a minute. And sometimes you don't want that in a podcast either. Think about like,
100%.
Dude, like fucking Ben Shapiro or one of those fucking fast talking motherfuckers. Just like, like, it's stressful. You know what I mean? Some people like that stuff. And sometimes you want to listen to those. Like, what are those two dudes that you like? Those kids? They're just like off the wall.
You Should Know podcast.
Yeah, dude. And you cannot listen to that unless you're in the right mindset. But there's a time and a place for everything. And if you're passionate about it, it'll ring through. And anybody else that shares that passion, they'll see that you're authentic, and they'll tune in and they will support you because they appreciate it. But yeah, just don't get in over your head. You don't need all the fucking fancy shit. Just start doing it. If you're passionate about it, your heart's in the right place, everything else will fall into place. Scale as you can, and you'll scale with your viewership. Like, look at those analytics, and stick with it. Give it some time, because like I said earlier in this episode, like, there's a new podcast every fucking 3 seconds. There's just people, but how many of those die? There must be like 5 or 6 dying every 3 seconds too.
And well, that's the biggest thing too. That was one piece of like advice or like wisdom, I guess, I got when I first started this. Because the first person I reached out to was Danger Dan. And I was talking to him about it and was like, yeah, I started a podcast, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you have any tips or like whatever, gladly accept them. And he like gave me a couple tips of like, just do pretty much like what I just said. Do it on something you love. And if it becomes not fun, don't do it anymore, because the people will know. And his other thing was last a year, because most podcasts will fail within a year, because it's fucking hard. It's hard to set aside, and like, it's hard to do one where you're releasing every week. That's what's tough. And Danger Dan also said, don't make it on a certain day. I couldn't do that. I needed it to be a day. But putting one out every week is fucking tough because shit happens. Snowstorms happen. You lose power. Shit happens in your family. Your personal life. You get sick. All this shit happens. It doesn't matter. You still got to put a fucking episode out. I've done episodes where I've had the worst toothache I've ever had in my fucking life, and it hurt to have headphones on and hear people talking in my ear, but still had to fucking put it out that week. It's been fucking rugged. And that's the hardest part, is lasting over a year, because it's fucking trying, especially if you're married and you have kids, because it takes fucking time to do a podcast. You gotta have guests lined up, and you need to do research on the guests so you know what the fuck you're talking about. And you need to know the sponsors for the show if you have any. You need to have any fucking current shit that's going on, like how we do the shows that are coming up. It's a lot of fucking work getting to the point where that you guys see every week. So that's my best advice tip to you, is like, just like Danger Dan said to me, last a year. If you get past a year, you'll be fine. But it's hard. And you gotta be stoked on it, or it just won't happen.
Yeah. And just like anything else in your life, if your heart's not in it, what are you doing it for? Like, if you're doing it for money or fame or something like that, like, don't even try, because it's not authentic, you know? Like, people will see that, you know? Like, and then they'll tune out, because that's the thing that's missing, is they, you know, like, you're the character, you know, you're the person they're coming to see. They like who you are as a person. Nobody likes a fucking liar. But also, you have to justify it to yourself all this time. The show itself, like putting out the show, is going to be its own reward. So even if you only have 20 dudes that are listening to you, if you're having fun doing it and they're digging it, then you can keep on going and just keep on pushing. And yeah, don't make excuses. I did a show with fucking COVID. You know what I did? Drank some hot toddies, powered through. No excuses. It comes out every week, or, you know, and again, this is just
we've
our
been
formula.
Canceled and still came out with an episode.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a rough week, but you know, again, maybe something different will work for you. Like, this is just what we're just telling you what's worked for us, and it just seems that, you know, like, there's guys defying the odds, right? Like, Danger Dan comes out on different days. All these other podcasts that we love aren't consistently every week, but it's consistent, and they're authentic, and the content's great, and that's what keeps them going. But if you're like us, you know, like, there's other things that you can do to make yourself even, you know, whatever you can do. You know, it would be great, dude. I'd fucking love to do a show a day, but we have day jobs, we have families, we have a whole bunch of shit to do. But maybe someday it'll get to that point. We're just doing it full time, 24/7 LCP radio, baby.
That'd be sick.
Just a live streaming out of our studio. We could probably do that if we get about like 4,000 more Patreon subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah, at least.
Once we can pay that mortgage off, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I hope you guys got something out of this. You know, it's kind of... I think it's important to share... You know, we share chopper knowledge that we have and our experiences and the guests that we have on. But, you know, we've never done an episode on specifically how podcast works. And I really just want to open it up. It's like, you know, I know some of you dudes personally would have awesome fucking podcasts, and you could have awesome fucking guests, or you could just talk with 4 you dudes and just like, and we need more of that content. I want to listen to you. So if you have any questions, if you have any ideas or whatever, let us know. I'm happy to talk to you about it and point you in the right direction. I mean, we definitely have had a few missteps, definitely have wasted a few Benjamins, definitely, you know, have had our trials and tribulations. But I think I feel pretty confident now. After a year of doing this, a video podcast, I feel pretty confident going into the next year. like knowing we kind of got our formula and we got what's going on and we have a good rhythm. And I'm happy to share it with other people. So,
Agreed.
All right. Well, before we get any further along, we should take this time. We got a
surprise announcement. Oh, fuck. So listen. Your boy has purchased another motorcycle.
It is the Road King.
I know, it's just too much. Too many fucking bikes.
The Road King is yours.
This is not mine. I promise you that's not mine. I've talked about it on here a few times and kind of just like waited. Well, I was trying to get a different bike. Didn't end up happening. That one was, what the fuck was that one? Like a 2019 Street Ball or some shit. Which is like a cool bike. I was trying to find something that the wife could ride on. But one bike I've been talking about on here for quite a while, probably a few years now, is doing a Cholo build. And I just happened to stumble across it when I'm fucking cruising through Facebook Marketplace. Like I do every fucking day because I'm a junkie. My kids call me a hoarder. Came across a Heritage Softail. Had like the bare bones of what I was trying to find. Had a bunch of gay shit on it. Windshield, saddlebags, all that bullshit. Didn't like it. The shit got ripped off. The windshield got taken off when I put it on the trailer in Boston. And and the bags got taken off. Yard. Yeah, the bags got taken off when I got home and pushed it in the garage. But ended up getting a 02 Heritage Softail, black and white, two-tone. The white is like a pearl white. Super fucking nice bike. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let's see if I can do this. The goddamn PVC is right in the way. There it is. Super nice fucking Softail. It's got the twin cam motor in it. Super new to me. I've never had a twin cam. Already has the long chrome fishtails on it, which was fucking key because those things are so expensive. So now I just have all the other shit. It's going to be a cool little build. Not going fucking crazy with it. Just going to build like a rad fucking Cholo style Softail. Still have the shovel project. It's right here. Don't worry. It didn't go anywhere. Shovel project. Still looking sexy as fuck. Still have the stepchild. Still have the 69 CB. I just wanted to do something different. I've built a few choppers now. I just wanted to push my mind to do some different shit. Wanted a bike that I could ride with the fucking wife. Wanted a bike I could rip up to Rhino's house real quick on the fucking highway and cruise at 90 if I wanted to. Can't do that on the chopper. At least not
here in 30 minutes.
Yeah, get there in 30 fucking minutes. So it's going to be cool. If you guys want to hear about the Cholo build, let me know. If not, completely fine with never talking about it again on this fucking podcast. But I wanted to share it. I got it a few weeks ago. I just haven't said anything on the show. I just fucking forget about it every week. But yeah, that's it. That's the new fucking bike. And that one's ride ready. I've already ridden that a few times. I put out like almost 500 miles on it already this year. But yeah, that's the bike I'll be fucking ripping with the wife on the weekends. Sporty is for me, so I can whip that and be a shitbag with my friends. And then the Shovelhead is still the fucking main project right now.
Yeah, but when we want to go, when we're getting soft, me and you got the dad bikes. Do dad shit. Go wild hogs.
Yeah.
Don't hurt our backs.
That's one thing I never understood when people were like, oh, how's your fucking back feel? And I'm like,
it doesn't hurt your back.
Fine.
Yeah,
it feels fine. I don't know where that whole thing came from, where hardtails destroy your back. I don't get that part of it, but
yeah,
maybe I would say if anything, the only inconvenience is, maybe we were just built with really good backs. If anything, the only inconvenience with riding a fucking rigid is shit rattles and falls off.
Yeah,
it's more annoying than it is painful.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what seat you have, you know. But like, I took I've been ripping on the shovel head, and I have that King Queen sprung, and my back feels fucking great, dude. I don't even slow down over speed bumps and shit. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. It's just about the way you set it up. I got that old school fucking seat that's all cushion. I run the big Avon tire in the back that has like that big sidewall, so I can run a little bit low. That gives me like a little bit of bounce.
I run it on 4 psi.
Yeah, and it doesn't fucking bother me. Never bothers me. The only time it bothers me if I crank a fucking pothole, and that sucks on a regular bike.
Yeah, if you have a nice seat though, like on my sporty build, I had like the shittiest seat, and when I hit bumps and stuff, I'd really feel it. And then I got just a cushier seat, and I didn't even slow down. Worst potholes, you're just like absorbed into the seat, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that bad. And I think they handle better. I don't know. Hardtails feel better to ride. I feel like I'm definitely, like, on the Softail and shit, I feel like I'm way too high up on that fucking thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the center of gravity.
I feel like one of those bitches, better. Like equestrian bitches, like riding on a horse, standing up on the saddle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the center of gravity is way better on a chopper. And me personally, this could be totally fucking different. But I feel more in control, especially the way the sports are set up now with the mids and the tight bars that I have. I'm like so hugged into that bike. I feel like I'm like, as gay as it sounds, I feel like I'm like one with the bike when I'm like cranking through like S turns and shit. Because I'm so tight on top of the bike. You like sit in it instead of on it.
Yeah, 100% agreed. You know, I feel like I'm so much more in control because the tank's like up here, my ass is down here, the fucking motor's right between my legs, and then everything also is like purpose built. So like you set the bars up perfectly. You know, like on the Softail, it just has some fucking stupid ass bars, and it's like, you're not supposed to be steering up here. Like, not good steering.
Yeah.
But I feel more comfortable on a hardtail.
Yeah, it's weird. Like on the Heritage, the bars are big. It's got 14s on it. And on the Sporty, because I sit low with 12s on it, my arms are straight locked out. You know what I mean? But with 14s when I ride like this. Like my arms aren't locked. You know what I mean? It's very fucking weird.
Dude, you know what's fucking hilarious is my dad came over this weekend. You know, he's in his 60s. And he's like, hey, I haven't seen your new bike, the Softail. So I brought him in the garage. And he's like, oh, I really like this. Oh, look at those grips. Kuriokin grips. Oh, look at those mirrors. They're like fucking flame mirrors, dude. All the dad shit. He was like super into it. Sitting right next to my 78 shovel, you know. And he's fawning over this fucking disgusting dad bike. I was like, Jesus Christ. He liked the grips.
You got all the custom paint grips and everything handmade on the shovel.
Yeah. Yeah, I made that from the ground up, Dad. No, but he's more impressed with the Kuriokin grips actually have like the rubber flames on them. It's so bad.
That's dope.
And then like the bolts look like bullets. It looks like a chamber of a fucking revolver. I'm like, oh, cool. But that shit really rustled his jimmies.
Hey, he knows when he sees something he likes.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dad. It's not a phase.
All right. We can jump into the sponsors now. I just want to get that out there. I don't want somebody see it in the background of a video or something and be like, what the fuck is that? thinking I'm trying to be undercover and shit.
Want to roll up to La Espada on our dad bikes?
On the softies.
Yeah, dude.
All right, so take a minute to thank the people that make this fucking episode possible. Up first, we got Dan at No Luck Paintworks. Kid's a fucking stud. Okay, just seen he turned out a set of beautiful fucking tins, and then I stopped at his place this weekend and got to see the ones he just did for Oxford Choppers. He's fucking sick. It's so fucking sick. Dan is a fucking wizard.
You saw the complete? It's completed.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's fucking sexy, dude. It's so fucking nice. He's a stud. So if you want to bring your build to the next fucking level, if you want some custom paint to set you apart from everybody else, hit up Dan and No Luck Paintworks on Instagram and tell him the homies from the Low Life Chopper podcast sent you. Next, we got Stay Strong Co., the fucking homie who makes the best hot sauce in the entire motherfucking world. Jesus himself in his white pants. I love him almost as much as I love his hot sauce. And if you were wondering, yes, it is finally a thing. The Low Life Chopper podcast Chopper Sauce will be released June 8th at the Low Life Lowdown. It's a thing. Labels are being ordered as we speak. The bottles have already been picked out. The sauce recipe has been made and tested and approved. This is the thing. Make sure you watch out for it at the Low Life Lowdown. Make sure you watch out at StayStrongCo.com and LowLifeChopperPodcast.com. You'll be able to order at both sites. There'll be a direct link to Stay Strong Co. on our website. So if you want to support your boys, support just amazing fucking hot sauce, make sure you watch out for it. Cop yourself a bottle and go follow Stay Strong Co. on Instagram. By the way, he doesn't just do hot sauce. He does fabrication. He does artsy shit. He builds fucking cool-ass clothes. He does crazy welding sculptures. This motherfucker does everything. Check him out. Stay Strong Co. on Instagram, StayStrongCo.com. Next, we got Lowbrow Customs. Everything you need for the road ahead. All the chopper parts your heart can fucking desire. You can build an entire bike at lowbrowcustoms.com. Not only do they support this fucking show, but they support the Low Life Lowdown. I got a whole box of goodies to give away, to put in the raffle. Tyler and his team support every grassroots chopper show across the fucking country, so you can help repay that debt by shopping at lowbrowcustoms.com. Next, we got Deadbeat Customs. Steve is the creator of the Deadbeat Retreat, where all low lives go to die. It quickly became the fucking show for the Low Life Chopper podcast, the show that we all gather at, the place where we go to die and drink too much and try experimental drugs. Just kidding, no drugs. We don't do drugs. And I hardly drink anymore, but it's still a fucking great time. The new place that they do it at the Blackthorn?
Blackthorn, yeah. Resort.
Blackthorn Resort was built for Deadbeat. It's a fucking biker chopper fucking paradise. It's dope as fuck. Make sure you get out there. It's a beautiful ride through New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, whatever way you decide to go. It's well worth the trip, I promise. And for all of your chopper parts, Dynabro parts, bagger parts, traveling accessories, sunglasses, Steve has it all at deadbeatcustoms.com. Make sure you use code LOWLIFE at checkout to save some motherfucking money. Drop a fucking comment on one of his posts and let him know the Low Life Chopper podcast boys sent you, so he knows that we're doing our goddamn job.
Next up, Hui Motor Co. That's HUI Motor Co. We wrench, we ride. Hui Motor Co. This is gear for dudes that wrench and ride. It's not just for dudes that ride. I guess you could fake it though. But he has badass club style vest he's actually this generous Canadian is donating one to our show. He supports the show. He supports the lowdown, and he makes gear for riders so they can still afford to ride. So go check out Hui Motorco, Hui Motorco. We got Burnt Up Wood Burning, the homie Matt. He made this beautiful, one-of-a-kind, priceless family heirloom for our monthly giveaway. But he'll make photorealistic wood burnings of hot rods, choppers, your old lady's titties, or if you want to do someone else's old lady's titties and then blackmail him or whatever, he'll probably be complacent in that too. He doesn't give a shit. He's old school. He doesn't use computers. He doesn't use AI. He uses the mitts, to create his art. Go check him out at Burnt Up Wood Burning on Instagram. Next up, we got the boy Wonder from down under. Sure. Way down in the slums of Connecticut, Oxford, Connecticut. Oxford Co. Choppers. He does full fab. He does handlebars. Tough guy handlebars, by the way. Sissy bars. Fucking foot controls. He'll do anything. This guy's really fucking talented. He just posted something in his story that blew me away. So if you use those on your cone shovel, you use those little mids in the where the floorboard tabs go, they fucking suck. There's one bolt going through. You can put as much red Loctite on that piece of shit as you want, but that fucking thing's going to shift. He made these cool little adapters that fit over that so they don't swivel. Just ingenuity. This guy just gets it. He's just like a brain. He's a problem solver, but he makes hard parts for hard men.
Hard parts
for co-choppers. Dude, go check him out. He's going to have 2 fucking bikes tomorrow at the show. He's a fucking maniac. And you lucky assholes, he's gone full time. So support him. He's about it. Up next, we got Loctite's motherfucking chop shop.
Being located in Epping, New Hampshire, the motherfucking center of the universe, brother. We do everything. All the pinstriping you need, hit me up. Whether you want garage signs, you want your tins pinstripe, your helmet, you want anything but Christmas ornaments, hit me up. I'm your fucking guy. Let's fucking create some cool shit. I've worked through all the orders that I had, and it's fucking summertime. Keep me busy, bitch. Let's fucking do some cool shit on your bike, or let me create a dope ass garage sign for you. Hit me up, Loctite Shop on Instagram or at lowlifechopperpodcast.com. Last but not least,
the show. The Low Life Chopper Podcast, the premier video and audio podcast that you all crave every Friday. Go to lowlifechopperpodcast.com for all our shops and socials. You can even check out the archive there. I downloaded some more archived episodes. I have every single YouTube video up there now. So pre-cancellation, I uploaded them all. So you can't get them on Spotify, but you can get them on lowlifechopperpodcast.com. Also, go check out the Low Life Lowdown page. Dedicated a page. We got our sponsors up there. We got our mission up there. We have some of the events that we're pushing up there. Everything you need to know about the Low Life Lowdown is on lowlifechopperpodcast.com. So you can't say that you didn't know if you don't show.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
All right. Another successful show.
Almost 2 hours. Listen, I know we're all over the place, but hopefully we got out at least enough information to spark your interest to start a podcast. Like Rhino said, we're not trying to gatekeep anything. We want more fucking podcasts. whether it's chopper related or just motorcycle related, whatever it is. Start it up. It's a good fucking time. If you really love what you're talking about, it's easy. And find a good co-host. Find somebody that you actually like. Because forcing an episode every week would suck. So find somebody that you mix with, that you mash with real fucking well, that fills your voids. That's what Rhino does for me. He fills my voids. And with that, we'll see you motherfuckers next week.
Peace.